All right.
Okay.
Welcome back. Literally welcome back.
Thank you. Thank you.
Cleaned out knee.
Yep, knee surgery went well. Thanks for asking.
And your emphysema-like thing is all better?
Emphysema, but thank you. Yes, I'm feeling much better.
Good. Well, you were missed, and we're happy to have you back.
Thanks.
Especially me. So, do you know that we have received, we mentioned Dorothy Rarig's zucchini recipes. So people have written and said, well, what are they?
Okay.
So, if you want the recipe, we can certainly send it to you. One is a zucchini crescent pie.
Okay. With real zucchinis and real crescents.
Real zucchini, I'm not sure what the crescent, what the pie dough is.
Okay.
It's
probably crescent rolls.
It probably doesn't have goose fat in it, though. And then summer squash pancakes. Do not feed these to your children because they won't eat them.
Okay.
So anyway, if you want those recipes, we can send them to you.
Great.
Thanks, Grandma. Yes, two, significant council meetings next week, Monday, Tuesday, doubleheader. Monday, we've got some presentations from outside agencies that are very important, 3CE and the Monterey County Business Council, which our council supports, our city supports. We're members of that business council. We've got the consent agenda and then some kind of routine business, although not on consent necessarily because we set that new threshold above which for contracts and
100,000?
Yeah. You and I arbitrarily set that with council. $100,000 contracts are done in open session under orders of business rather than consent. So just so there's, I think it's a good idea.
Yeah.
More disclosure, more transparency. So we've got a couple of those on there, buying a dump truck and those kinds of things. And then we've got Rio Park, real property negotiations with our siblings at the Carmel Area Wastewater District. And then we'll come back. Again, Mary did a very comprehensive, very good job highlighting what's on the council agenda. We have a very important plan, the Community Wildfire Protection Plan. You call it a QUIP, I call it the SWIP.
Starts with a C, not an S.
Yeah, it's a
SWIP is a stormwater prevention.
It's a hard C.
All right, okay.
Kind of the way you say my name sometime.
All right, keep going.
But it's an important plan. We did this in concert with the cities of Pacific Grove and Monterey. It's our hope not only will be a safer community, but we can show some of the insurance companies that are fleeing our community that we are a safe and ready community from the perspective of wildfire safety. And so Chief Miller will be presenting that, and hopefully the council adopts that plan. But again, hopefully some of our residents get some insurance relief. So that's at least my hope.
Yeah.
We've got that pesky little street address system implementation plan, et cetera, that we've been talking about for some time. We're going to get an update from Marnie on the sixth cycle housing element, the alternative sites and programs analysis that we've been working with partners, the AHA group here in the village. That's been very productive.
It has, it really has.
And then we've got a couple of public hearings, which are appeals of planning commission decisions. So that's what I have, with the exception of, years ago when I started my career, we got what was called a pre-Peralta. The Peralta is a well. And that we got an allocation from the water district. The water district was set up by the legislature to not only preserve the birds and bunnies, but to help regulate the investor-owned utility, California American Water. So what the water district is doing now is in anticipation of the Pure Water Monterey expansion project being completed next year is beginning the process of discussing an allocation. For
Pre-allocation.
Well, I think
potentially.
I think the pre-allocation's out. I don't think we're getting a pre-allocation.
You think that's totally out the window now?
I don't think we're getting. Yeah, I think that the state regulators are too concerned about Caliam not getting off the river since 1996. So it's the process, how much we need, what our expansion would look like vis-a-vis redevelopment in the village, and again, all the other jurisdictions. So Marnie will be attending that. I think Marnie, or Evan, next week with the water district. So again, that's.
Well, it's an important topic because when the city, not if, but when the city gets a water allocation, we essentially get a big bucket of water, and then the city council creates policies of how that water is potentially doled out, and a lot of that's probably going to go towards some form of affordable housing. I mean, the water is a big part of the puzzle to how we get the housing element to actually come true.
Right.
So does that mean that we're going to give water or sell water to people that want to build ADUs or build affordable housing. We don't know. It has to be a council policy, and of course will be done in open session and all that stuff. But the water is a big part of this whole housing crisis.
Absolutely. And in the past, the buckets have been affordable housing, municipal use, residential use, commercial use. And so council will get to divide up whatever water we end up getting eventually into different allocation categories.
Yeah, so stay tuned. We'll keep updating everyone what we learn at those meetings. This won't be a fast process.
No.
Water never is. What's the quote? Whiskey's for drinking, water's for fighting.
I think that's what it is.
Something along those lines. I'm paraphrasing. But okay, so I got a couple things too. Next week, we talked about that already. I do want to let folks know that on September 12th at 2:30 p.m. here in the chambers, we're going to be having a discussion with our Forest and Beach Commission about pickleball.
Yep.
The conversation is going to be around how do we harmonize the use of the tennis courts with pickleball and tennis and surrounding neighbors and the noise and all that. So right now there's no policy about hours or anything like that. Just the fact that pickleball can happen on the courts.
And that was approved after a community survey by the Forest and Beach Commission.
Right.
But the council has kind of remanded them and asked them to look again at a policy, kind of like other communities have, about different days, so that some of the neighboring residents get some quiet relief. But again, we balance those uses on those courts.
Right. I keep using that word harmony or harmonize. I think that's really important. I think
it's appropriate.
Everyone has an opportunity, but how do we maybe make it a little bit harmonious up there?
Right. And we did, thanks to Tom Ford and Justin Ono for getting the ad in the Pine Cone. It's a big ad, and so hopefully, again, this is the beginning, not the end of the discussion, so we get people in the room to talk very civilly and harmonize that relationship.
Absolutely. Also up right now, there's a survey on our homepage. If you go to the city's homepage, collecting feedback on Car Week.
Yep.
That's really important. I know people have different opinions about surveys, but we really want as much anecdotal information as you can give us, because we're coming back in October to council to give them a debrief on how it went.
Right.
And if you saw something or you experienced something that has merit, we want to know about it. So please go take that survey, share with us.
Yeah, I think it'll be our job when we're picking up, when we're doing our walks and picking up, is talking to the business owners as well, because sometimes they're the group that, again, they're working the register, they're buying, they're selling, whatever, they don't have the time capacity to get involved sometimes. So we really want to hear from those individuals in the community as well about what worked and what didn't work. And again, there's no judgment here, but again, so the council can create future policies and make sure, again, we harmonize that event with the needs of the residents and the business owners, et cetera.
Just going to keep using my word.
That's a great word.
Okay.
You invented it.
Next, I didn't invent the word. Then also next week at the next weekend, actually, the 14th of September, we have our great sandcastle contest. It's going to start at 7 a.m.
61st.
Starts early. Man,
it's really early. Well, yeah.
Imagine getting out there. Anyway, go check it out. It's a lot of fun. And then the last thing, just sort of like an educational piece for folks, it is, as we call it affectionately, silly season right now. It's a political season.
You call it. I would never call it that, but
yeah, okay, you're I learned it from. But just for people have been asking, political signs. You're allowed to put political signs on your private property. Most of the time during the year, you're only allowed one sign on your property. But for the 90 days preceding an election and the 10 days after, you're allowed unlimited signs. The content, we can't manage the content. That's a First Amendment thing. So it can say, I think Chip's the best, or I think Chip is the worst, whatever they want it to say. It can be for a political candidate. It can just have a picture of your cat. We don't care. But you can have as many signs in your property, private property, not in the right of way, please, as long as they conform to the size requirements, which is 12 square feet, so 3 feet by 4 feet. It's an easy way to do that.
And that's by statute. So that's our law.
That's our law. So 90 days before, 10 days after. So if you start seeing a lot of political signs popping up, which I imagine you will with the number of candidates we have, it's okay to have more than one sign on private property. It has to be on private property, though. Please don't put signs in the right of way. We will come and either put those on your front porch or collect them, and you'll have to come to City Hall and grab them, because we do not allow signs in the right of way. But on your private property, as many as you like, no larger than 12 square feet each, please, though.
Yeah, and again, you could see signs for state items.
Sure.
For school district candidates. You could see signs supporting people in, God forbid, Pacific Grove for council. So,
or a picture of your cat, like I said.
Yeah, cat or dog.
Or dog. And that's what I got.
All right. Well, again, it's welcome back. It's good to have you back. I was lonely here at the office. So thanks to all our staff for everything they do, and take good care.